Salutations, boys and girls and kiddos of all ages. And of course, with a big hello and welcome back to my returning viewers. And an even bigger hello and welcome back to all my subscribers, old and new. And if you don't fall in any of those categories and you're a new viewer of the channel, to you I would like to say hello and thank you for joining us here at Posing Action Figures with Toy the Poser. And me, I am your host, Toy the Poser. And I guess at this point, since you saw the thumbnail and title of the video, let's get on with the show. Whoop, whoop. All right, and as you can see here upon the rotating rotator, we have the Marvel Legends series Phantom Rider. All right, and of course, yeah, he's the Phantom Rider. Okay, and for those who like boxes, this is the back of the box. All right, with the lineup of the Scourge, the execution of Build-A-Figure wave, and that Scourge. That's Wolverine World War II Logan, who doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece and who also I did not need or want. Iron Man Mark 72 armor. Did a video of all of these, from him to Dark Avenger Spider-Man, Warbow, Werewolf by Night, Enchantress, and of course, our last video of this wave is Phantom Rider. And yeah, the wording for, oh, sorry about the glare. Let's do that. Take that off again. I mean, I should read this stuff, but if you guys like it, hey, more power to you. Here you go. Here's the bottom of the box, okay, with words that I don't know if you need or not, with the barcode, and of course the top of the box that says Marvel. And this is the part where we magical poof him out of the box. So magical poof. All right, and there we are. Yeah, he's right there, and it's a white on white background. So let's try to change that with a quick snap. All right, it's the the Savage Land 3-pack backdrop. Yeah, so just to break up the white. So let's put Phantom Rider to the side here and talk about the accessories that came in the pack, which is his left leg. That's the final piece to the Scourge, the execution of Build-A-Figure. So we just gonna go ahead and, do I get the satisfying snap? Nope, I don't. I just, but it's fine. So now that Search the Execution is complete, be expecting a video about him soon. So off you go. All right, and talk about the extra hands, which is just two white fists. That's probably also not doing well with my white hands. So we're just gonna go ahead and push that to the side. An extra left open grabby hand for whatever reason. I have no idea, but anywho, but also two pew pew pow pow 6-shooters Smith & Wesson revolvers. I'm gonna assume that's what they are. I don't know a whole lot about guns, but I think I know a revolver when I see one. And if I don't, then excuse me. Okay, but they go in his holster here. So, I don't know if you guys know or not, but that new Deadpool action figure, or the Cowboy Deadpool, has one with come with guns and spinning effect for them, but which I thought I kind of wanted and I thought would be cool, but I don't want it bad enough just to buy action figure that I don't even want. But anywho, all right, as you can see, all right, and Mr. All White with cowboy guy here, Phantom Rider, and he has boot swivel. He has butterfly joints, and let's see, can he clap his hand? Or it's, ooh, that's tough. So remember to pose. Heat up your action figures before you pose them, kiddos. You don't want no broken action figures, especially when it's new at the pack. All right. And yeah, even with butterfly joints, that's as close as you can get his hands to go. So no hand clapping. So the butterfly joints is a fail. However, this ab crunch seems to be bending quite well here. So yeah, good to that. He has the cape that's hard, but it's not as hard, so it's kind of bendable, but still. And the hat is not removable. I kind of wished it was, but it's not. So, I mean, we're gonna talk more about him, say more about him, and because he's supposed to have a horse. Well, you know, the character rides a horse, but he didn't come with a horse, as you can tell. But let's put him in a cold pose and talk more about him. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so and put him on a rotating rotator. And that, kiddos, was alarm to let you know that this could be a potential builder figure. And I'm sorry, a potential army builder, which means that you you should, if you like that type sort of thing, get multiple of these. How many you say? Well, I will let you know as soon as we bring in the monitor and talk more about Phantom Rider and I guess I don't know. If I said it once, I said it a million times. There's no such thing as the perfect action figure flight stand or stand. So yeah, I just had to get that out because I struggled to find a stand to hold him in even this simple pose. But anywho, let's find out more about Phantom Rider. Okay, we're gonna first start off explaining Phantom Rider. At basically a multi-layer character. I've already said he's a potential army builder, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But I guess the best way to start off explaining Phantom Rider is like this. The character Ghost Rider first appeared in another old comic book by the name of Magazine Enterprise, and he featured in a number 11 of issue 11 of Tim Holt as the Ghost Rider, and the character, or the alter ego, or whatever you want to say, name of the character in Ghost Rider, his name was a guy named Rex Fury. And no, I don't have a real good picture of him, but that's neither here nor there, because and I think it was Tales of Rex Fury and the Calico Kid. It was something other than that, but it first started out back in 1949. Yes. And Rex Fury was the first Ghost Rider and that we'll explain that part later, but I think he also changed his name later, but that's neither here nor there. However, I only wanted to say that to introduce Rex Fury as Ghost Rider, because later on, after this syndication ended, like about 11 years later, this is when Marvel Comics picked up the character again, or at least the name of the character again. Okay, but Rex Fury wasn't, lost in history or something like that. It plays a little history into him being related to some Nick Fury's family. But like I said, that's neither here nor there. However, like I said, after 11 years or so later, this is when we get Banker Carson. And actually, that's just a bit of a joke, because although Banker Carson is a real character back in the day in Marvel Comics, first appearing in like a comic called The Texas Kid back in 1951. Although after the Rex Fury Ghost Rider that looked like our Phantom Rider, but slightly before this version of Phantom Rider, we Banker Carson was a crooked banker that went around robbing people disguised in a black mask as a character called the Phantom Rider, and he was quickly stopped and brought to justice by the Texas Kid. Anywho, so with that was a Phantom Rider, as I was saying, but not the army builder I was talking about. I just want to add him in there to say there's multiple Phantom Riders that went by the name Phantom Rider. He's one of them, but he didn't look nothing like this Phantom Rider, although mostly all the Phantom Rider characters that we name now will resemble this Phantom Rider, who was originally called Ghost Rider and created back in December 1st of 1966 in the first issue of Ghost Rider, who he was really called. Carter Slade, and along with his brother Lincoln, but we'll talk about him later, was born in Ohio back in the 19th century. Carter then moved out west to, when he got older, to become a school teacher in Colorado. Now, shortly or pretty as soon as he got arrived in Colorado, he witnessed a group of Indians being slaughtered or by homesteaders. And I'm sorry, I mixed that up. He thought the Indians were doing the slaughtering and slaughtering homesteaders. One of those Indians was a guy in disguise or dressed up as an Indian called Blackie Clay. And the reason Blackie Clay was out running around cosplaying as a Indian in Colorado in the 19th century was because of a man by the name of Jason Bartholomew, who was a rancher who basically was trying to scare off other ranchers from coming in and buying up all the land. So Jason got another gentleman to dress up as an Indian to go around to basically to scare off other ranchers. Now, all this was really going according to Jason Bartholomew's plan until one day Carter came into town and noticed all the commotion happening right before his eyes, and he did not like the way it looked. So although he wasn't a gunslinger or anything of that nature, he did take up a little amateur boxing in college, so he knew how to handle himself rather well enough. However, it still wasn't, well enough, because the fake Indians, and by fake Indians I mean Blackie Clay and his gangs, who was working for Bartholomew, made a mistake and roughed up Slade there, and also murdered the parents of a young kid by the name of Jamie Jacobs. And the local Indians who witnessed all of this go down took Jamie and the injured Slade to their medicine man by the name of Flaming Star. Yeah, anywho. Now, while Flaming Star was trying to heal Slade back into, recovery, all that, he also believed that he was this savior that was coming to protect them, that he read about or saw signs in a prophecy or whatever. And when Slade, Carter Slade came to and did not pass away, then that was enough for Flaming Star to, realize that, yes, this is our champion. So he basically gave Slade all this photosynthesis, I don't know, some kind of little special dust that makes him, I guess, appear ghostly or whatever. And he also gave him took him to a horse that most people thought was untamable by the name of Banshee. And yes, the horse name is Banshee. And like I said before, I don't know why they didn't give us a white horse in a situation. Why didn't maybe he'll come later in a deluxe pack? Who knows? However, I have a alternate right now. Although a friend of mine told me about where you can buy a white horse at. I haven't seen it yet, but I did have an alternate, and I'll show him later. Okay, but anyway, now Slade has his white horse, and he also donned a all-white suit with cape and, of course, cowboy hat, and was running around calling himself the Ghost Rider. And later, after for whatever reason, he ended up calling himself Phantom Rider, because apparently I think Marvel forgot that they already had a guy by the name of Ghost Rider running around. And that's technically how Carter Slade became the Phantom Rider. Now, with that being said, all right, there were also other people that used the name Phantom Rider before. Here's where that army building situation come into play. First, we know about the Rex Fury, who was the first Ghost Rider, who also, dressed up and looked just like our Phantom Rider. But that's one that you can, I guess, substitute as another Phantom Rider or Ghost Rider. The second is a black man by the name of Reno Jones. And now Reno first appeared in issue 1 of Gunhawk, and Reno basically was the childhood friend of the Cassidy Kid, and Kid Cassidy, as you want to say, however you want to say it. But yeah, and they grew up together, and because Reno was basically was a slave on the Cassidy plantation. And let's not make this video a downer video, but anyway, Reno ended up putting on a white costume and had riding a white horse and calling himself the Ghost Rider or the Phantom Rider. The next Phantom Rider was Benjamin Parker, and I forget. Hold on, let me double check to make sure. Yes, during the 2016 animation of Ultimate Spider-Man, the animated series. Um, that can't I think it was issue 4 or something like that, where they met a version of Peter Parker's uncle Ben Parker, or Benjamin Parker, back in the day, where he uh, it was Western time and whatever. Long story short, Uncle Ben, or Ben Parker, was a gunslinger, or a guy that dressed up in a costume and called himself the Phantom Rider. All right, so there's your third Phantom Rider so far. And after that, well, you remember that first Ghost Rider movie with Nicolas Cage in it, and the other quote unquote Ghost Rider that had a horse, that was played by Sam Elliott. He was also called the Caretaker in that too, for some reason. But anyway, eventually he turned into flaming quote unquote Ghost Rider that rode a flaming horse. So, but he was supposed to be the Phantom Rider at the time, but he didn't look nothing like the Phantom Rider I'm talking about, so he's not our fourth. I just wanted to say that, just to not leave him out. But anywho, on alternate Earth called Earth 21923, there was a group of villains going around calling themselves the Phantom Riders. And although they didn't have a specific, whatever, name or person that was, or I guess that was identified as who was who individually, the Phantom Riders, but there was a group of futuristic guys dressed up in cowboy hats and I guess coats and cowboy gear, and riding on robotic white horses, calling themselves the Phantom Riders. So, but that's not, yeah, that's that. Also, well, not also, everybody that was gonna dressed up, use the, as they say, guys as the Phantom Rider, was pretty much all related at this point, even including Jamie Jacobs, Slade's adopted son, the one that had his parents murdered by Blackie and his crew and Bartholomew, but also Slade's brother, Lincoln Slade, also ended up wearing the Phantom Rider costume, also called himself Ghost Rider too, but we just gonna say Phantom Rider from now on. Phantom Rider costume. So there's our what's that? Third? How many is that now? Our fifth Phantom Rider, not including the original Slade here. But anyway, the next Phantom Rider we have Hamilton Slade, who was the great, how many greats? Nephew or grandnephew of Carter Slade, anything like that. But later he wore the costume as the Phantom Rider. So that makes 6. Or 7 if you want to count Carter. And last but not least is Jamie Slade, who is the niece or great grandniece of Carter Slade, however you want to say it. And although she makes our 7th, 6th, 7th, I keep losing count. Why do I keep losing count? Well, not including Carter, she is the 7th Ghost Rider. However, she is a female, so you can't use her as one of the army builders, but she does wear all white with with a cape, and she does ride a white horse with 2 guns, all that. So if you ever find if we ever get another Marvel or Hasbro to make us a Jamie Slade action figure, hope she comes with a horse. Okay, so that makes a grand total of 7 Phantom Riders that you can get, and total of, I keep losing count, but Jamie makes 8 out of the family members of Phantom Riders in that way. But anywho, that's that. But anywho, although our main Phantom Rider, better known as also Ghost Rider, or he even went by Knight Rider at one point. Anywho, Carter Slade at the time, although he doesn't have any superpowers at the time, he did become kind of sort of a spirit, but he is a skilled or amateur boxer, so he is good at hand-to-hand combat. He did become a skilled marksman with his guns, revolvers, anything like that. He did pick up, learn acrobatics, so he is very agile, or if you want to say that. All right. And he also picked up a few tricks or trades to make his Phantom Rider persona look more spirit-like. Like, he would do things with lanterns to make his appearance look more ghostly, or things like that. He picked up little tricks of the trades of that nature. So that's it. Whoop whoop. Now, as I said, Phantom Rider didn't come with a horse. I don't know why, but that's neither here nor there. I did have the DC Build-A-Figure horse, McFarlane Toys, I guess, Batman Dark Knight Returns horse. Anyway, I can't remember which line or whatever, so he came in. Oh, so on and so forth. I'm going to try to fix this so I can get him in frame. Okay. To some degree or whatever. I'm trying. Okay. That should be good enough. Is it? I hope so. But yeah, this is a horse. Of course. And yeesh. There. How about that? Okay. And there we go. We're gonna try to put Phantom Rider Carter on this horse. And I'm gonna do this in real time. So this. Whoop. Now, I don't know exactly how tall a horse should be to a human. What's the average size height of a horse? But Carter is naturally supposed to be like around 6 feet tall or something like that. So bringing in the ruler, and I'm going to do this without the size crew. All right. If you count the hat, he stands at 6 3/4, or a little over 6 3/4. So yeah, that he is almost comic book size accurate. And with that, did y'all guys even see that? I'm sorry. And you probably can't see it because all the freaking lights are off. Anywho, I'm sorry, guys. But regardless of the fact, okay, I'm losing my bearings here. So let's try to put him on the horse. And in horsey stance pose. Oh, by the way, the McFarlane horses, or the McFarlane action figure line, the DC action figure line, they're normally a 10th, 1/10 scale action figure size. So I truthfully don't know how much, how big he looks on the horse or whatever, but I don't think he, even by just putting him up this way, all right, and I'm not going to do it too much because, guys, I'm trying to do it over a camera. I still don't think he looks bad. You know, I'm pretty sure I could have did that a heck of a lot better or whatever. But that doesn't look too bad at all. You know? So yeah, I'm gonna end the video here because I'm losing all my bearings. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for stopping by. See you in the next video. And if you don't know what to do with your Phantom Rider and you don't have the money to go buy the extra 7 or 6 or 7, I'm losing count again. If you can't do none of that right now, just take some advice that my mother would give me when I had didn't know what else to do. Go somewhere and play. So until the next video, guys. See you then. Okay, I'm out of here.